One woman punched her grandma.
Are you making all this up?
No way.
Brilliant. Hello there, and welcome to another More Movies Reacts. My name's Greg Fisher. His name is David Roberts. How you doing, Dave?
I'm fantastic, sir. How are you?
A little bit of gas, but I'm okay, thanks. So we're here to react to a trailer for a forthcoming film called 8-Bit Christmas. I didn't really know anything about this film. You brought it to my attention, so please take the stage.
Well, it's not 16-bit or 32-bit or 64-bit. It's 8-bit, so it must be back to the 80s.
Yes! That's my time. That's my days.
I don't know an incredible amount about it. All I know is it's an American Christmas comedy film coming out. I think it's on HBO Max. It's got Neil Patrick Harris in it.
Doogie Howser.
So what do you like, Doogie Howser or something?
Who?
Doogie Howser? The teenage doctor?
Doogie Howser.
He will always be Doogie Howser to me.
It's basically a story about a kid wanting a games console for Christmas in the 80s, I believe.
Do you remember the 80s? Do you remember what it was like?
I don't remember the 80s, but I know.
Because you weren't even fucking born. So let me be the resident expert, the old man, to tell you. Games, well, you know all about it. The games took ages to load, especially when they were on tapes, cassette tapes. Can you believe that? Can you imagine kids today? You say, we're going to play a game, but it's going to take 30 minutes for this tape to go. And then you can play
you get to the end
one
of the cassette
level
tape and it would chew.
Oh, mate. Some of these games, right, you had about 8 cassettes in the box, you know. And if one of those fuckers got chewed up, you're screwed because that's like halfway through the game. You can't play the rest of it because you can't advance. Oh, it was a terrible idea. The only thing that hasn't changed about them since then was they were expensive as hell. And obviously, as we know, games are still expensive. Too expensive, if you ask me. Okay, so this sounds like fun to me. This is going back to my era. I was a kid in the 80s. I had a Sega Mega Drive. That was really good fun. So I'm quite excited to see this one.
So am I. It's something we both love, isn't it? The kind of retro stuff from back then, the old games, the old films, the old music. So I'm sure it's all that.
Ooh, exciting. Let's check it out.
Every kid has that one gift they want more than anything for Christmas.
I was 10.
This is the story of mine.
Bookends?
They have baseballs on them.
Oh.
I see that.
No, not those. Nintendo.
Oh, they've gone down the Super Nintendo route.
Intelligence so advanced it was deemed not a video game, but an 8-bit entertainment system.
No Nintendo.
Oh, Steve Zahn.
I second that.
Looks like a no-go on Nintendo.
Oh.
I needed a Christmas miracle.
Oh, yeah.
Year was 1987, or was it 88? Super Bowl was in 87.
Okay, does it really matter, Dad?
The year was the late 80s. I was 11 years old.
Did you wear a helmet?
Yeah, we always wore helmets
No, we didn't.
in the 80s.
But we did have BMXs.
Me and my friends would do anything just to play one.
Any of you huddle masters want to play? What have you brought me?
I got a goldfish!
Untraceable!
Untraceable.
One thing became clear. I needed to get my own.
Was that the Nintendo glasses you was playing with?
Yeah, and they had the glove as well.
The glove, yeah.
Is that we're Vietnam?
I don't think that means what you think it means.
I have no idea what it means. We're gonna
Those glasses.
God, like my granddad's glasses, bless him.
During Christmas.
Oh, roller discos. There's another great trope from the 80s.
Magical happens.
Sold out in 20 minutes.
Ugly.
One woman punched her grandma.
Are you making all this up?
No way.
Brilliant.
Did you guys hear in the reselling contest?
First prize is a brand new Nintendo Entertainment
Yeah,
System.
the original NES.
I'm gonna kill you.
Hold on.
There are no rules. That Nintendo's mine.
Fighting the kids to get the Nintendo.
What do you want?
Wanna buy a wreath?
Ma, this kid thinks your wreath sucks.
Video games have been doing all kinds of strange things to children.
Oh, no. No.
What?
It was the 80s. Stuff got real.
The old CRT's brilliant.
Red Dog, this is Bluebird. This is Rainbow 1.
Walkie-talkies.
I changed it. We're allowed to change names now. This is Millennium Falcon. Super cool.
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. That looks like a lot of fun. I'm into that. That is super cool.
A little slice of heaven.
Yeah, it's got it all in there, hasn't it? It's got it, you know, it's packed all of those little 80s styles in there, 80s fads, down to the clothing and all sorts. Like you said, they got the walkie-talkies. Obviously, that to me is like a trip down memory lane. Obviously, I'm same sort of age as the character that Doogie Howser is portraying there, because I was like, 10 years old in 1988. So I didn't have a Nintendo though. My cousin did though. So I got to play on it, like Mario Brothers and stuff, and it was fun. But I was just more of a Sega guy. Like I said, we got the Mega Drive, and it was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, especially in Britain, more were Sega, because it was always a thing. Nintendo was like the kiddie console, and Sega was the one that had the more adult games on it. So
I think so. I think there was like this sort of, to be honest with you, I remember games like Streets of Rage and a few things like that on the Mega Drive that were a little bit more, like you say, not so much adult, but maybe a little bit more violent, a little bit more action-packed, whereas little Mario running about, and you had like things like Duck Hunt and stuff like that.
Well, Nintendo didn't allow blood in their games back then. And
I respect
like
them for that now. As an adult, it's funny. I look on that, and we got things like the Wii and stuff like that. That is very much more family orientated. Not, you don't have to be everything's soaked in blood and violence and pulling heads off and finish him.
Finish her. Johnny Cage wins. Flawless victory.
This is the era where all the stuff that we know and love now that's like we're surrounded with, this is where it started to blow up, end of the 80s. You talked about Pong earlier, and you got the Atari home system and stuff like that. That was like late 70s and stuff like that. I remember somebody in my neighborhood had an old Atari, and I was a kid then, so even then it was like, that's like an older console, but it had like wood paneling. Like the old televisions. Yeah. And, to look back on that now, it's like that. It's hilarious that even the home entertainment systems had that kind of, veneer finish.
Only from Atari.
She's better than me. Have you played Atari today?
Well, it's really the era, the NES and stuff. That's really where it started turning into games that we would recognise today, really. Because before that, with the Atari and the Spectrum and the home computers and all that kind of stuff, it was just blocks of colour. They were just kind of like blocks pieced together, weren't they, and stuff, and very kind of sparse and basic. And that's when you started to see Mario in full colour and all that kind of stuff.
And also that whole culture of gaming that, I'm like, been gaming ever since then, one way or another. And funnily enough, still on consoles. I'm a PlayStation player now, as you know. So it's like, all these years later, we're still doing it. And I always used to think that as a kid. I used to think, are we going to grow up and be like old, like, like our grandparents' age? And we're still there going, maybe we are, if we can still see what we're doing. Well, all that conversation about gaming and stuff aside, this looks like a really funny film, great family film.
It does.
It'll make the adults laugh, it'll make the kids laugh. It's got loads of all that great 80s stuff in there for the nostalgia. I think this looks like a winner.
Ooh, what about Winner Winner Chicken Dinner? Yes.
It certainly does. Nostalgia sells,
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Brilliant. We're all trying to hawk back to a better time. What everybody forgets was times were just as bad back then.
Well, of course, that's it. But it seemed nicer.
Yeah, it's always nice to look back. So there we go. What do you think of this? Were you a Nintendo player or a Sega player? Did you have an 8-bit console? Does 8-bit Christmas look like a lot of fun to you? Let us know in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you. Dave, any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
Just, AA, BB, XX, YY, up, down, left, right.
In
right.
those days, there was just two. There was two buttons.
Just 2 buttons, A and B.
I think
yes,
actually it was on the Nintendo, but on the Sega maybe had 3.
Yeah, I think they had the Y as well, I think. Or something, yeah.
ABC. I don't know. I can't even remember. I'm so old. I don't remember.
It's changed a lot, isn't it? Because it was like 2, then 3, and then by the time
Front
you got
paddles,
to now,
all sorts, yeah. Love it. Keep it coming. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, keep gaming, and keep watching more movies. Well, that's it for this video. Please leave us a comment and let us know what you thought. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe right here on YouTube. To check out more of our articles and reviews, check out our website, moremovies.co.uk. And why not join us on social media? That's at More Movies for you across the board. You know the score. And if you'd like to support us, consider buying us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com, or you can become a More Movies patron over on patreon.com. All the links are in the description below. And to check out more of our filmtastic videos, click one of the buttons on screen now.